So for video 2, what we're going to try and do is create some histograms. So you can see in the time it took to convert the last one, I created a title here and then also gave an axis title down here. I could give a vertical axis title over here, and this would be calories. All right, so you want to make sure everything's labeled all nice and neat. Now for the histogram, you have to decide on your bin widths. So just pick a different cell and put bins here. Okay, so I'm going to do a histogram for just me. Okay, there's going to have to be 2 different histograms because you can't combine these really together. So looking at my 5-number summary, I'm going from a minimum of 50 to a max of 150. Okay, so I could do bins by 10, I could do bins by 20, 25. Okay, I'm going to do bins by 25. So I'm going to have something starting at 50. I'm going to go 75, 100, 125, and 150. Now what you want to check before you do anything else is if you go to data up top, if you have this data analysis pack. Okay? If you don't, you need to go File, Options, Add-ins, Analysis Tool Pack, go select this top data analysis one and OK. Okay, some computers have them and some don't. Now, when I go to this data analysis button, I want a histogram. Okay, input range. Now, what input am I going to use in the histogram? These numbers right here. Okay, bin range. I decided to go by 25s. Ideally, I'd like you to have some more bins, so maybe 10 or 15 here would be better, but just for the sake of time. Okay. Now, you're going to have to click Output Range and pick a box nearby for this table to paste to. Okay. So what this is telling me is I got 1 from 50 to 75. I have 3 from 75 to 100. I got 1 from 100 to 125, and etc. Okay, you don't need this more one, so you can delete that. Now, what's important to do here is you got to go rename your bins. Okay, so that you have to put an apostrophe first, and then your values. So this one was actually 25 up to 50. That means this one would be 50 up to 75. This one is 75 up to 100, and you got to put the apostrophes first. Okay. Now, once you have all those in there, you're going to come up to Insert. Well, you have to highlight all the data. Insert, Column Graph, and just a basic column graph. And this will do this for you here. Okay. Now get rid of that. Makes your graph look a little bit cleaner. Now, if I was to do this again, it's kind of misleading because it's got one from 25 to 50, but the lowest was 50. So maybe I want to go by 25s, but maybe instead go like 40 to 65, or 50 to 75 kind of to start. So I could go rename these, but you'll kind of catch the hang of this here. Just, or that's a good way to make one of your graphs misleading as well. Okay, and then if you click on the graph, you get this chart tools, and you can go layout. You can give it a title, everything else like that. Okay. Now to finish up, here's an example we kind of had, kind of a teacher example. So this is McDonald's and Burger King, so you can't use these 2 things here. There's some more entrees than we had before. So you can see the 2 box and whisker plots. You can talk about spread, compare them, and whatnot. On a different tab, we have one of the histograms. Okay, so I believe this is just for McDonald's, so it's not labeled completely correct yet. But you can see the bins are a little bit better. So 10 to 15. So I think the minimum here is 12, so that works a little bit better. And lastly is the stem and leaf plot. Now there's no real fancy way to do these, just kind of creating them. So you can do one by hand. So this McDonald's here, we use 1, 2, 3, 4 for the stems here. And then the little leaves are the actual values. Make sure you include a key. So when I see 2, line 3, I know that means 23. Okay? So there's kind of within 15 minutes how you use Excel and create the 3 main graphs that we're going to do for this project. Don't forget to go through your assignment and your rubric and make sure you hit on all those points, include your graph, everything's nice and labeled. You know, write short little paragraphs comparing and contrasting these.